it's my great pleasure and honor to welcome you all on this occasion, which is first of its kind, and South Campus is enjoying the international conference, which is on Eclectic Heritage of Kashmir towards elasticity and inclusivity and sustainability. Dear guests, we've been enjoying the rich heritage in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. Well, the culture and heritage diplomacy is a powerful tool that nations wield to foster understanding, build bridges, and strengthen international relationships. Unlike traditional diplomacy, which often focuses on political and economic interactions, cultural heritage diplomacy centers around the promotion of a nation's cultures, assets, and historical, richness. This form of diplomacy recognizes the significance of shared narratives, art, tradition, and heritage in creating lasting connections between people and a nation. The cultural diplomacy involves the exchange of cultural elements such as art, music, literature, and tradition between nations. It serves as a means to showcase a nation's identity and values on the world. By sharing cultural expression, countries can transcend linguistic and political barriers, fostering mutual respect and appreciation. Ladies and gentlemen, heritage diplomacy, on the other hand, focuses on promoting a nation's historical treasures and traditions. UNESCO plays a crucial role in this aspect, designating World Heritage Sites to recognize and protect cultural and natural landmarks of the outstanding value. Nations often leverage these designations to enhance their global standing and attract tourism, showcasing the importance of preserving cultural heritage for the benefit of the humanity. Well, we have already discussed the ecotourism recently, and simultaneously I would basically request those scholars and the students, and they should educate themselves for preserving and protecting our heritage, which is really important for our ecotourism, which is important for our economic upliftment. So with these words, I would once again welcome all the guests, including the scholars and students. Thank you so very much. Have a good day.
Indeed, a very eye-catchy and need of the hour, the present seminar, that is Eclectic Heritage of Kashmir towards Inclusivity and Sustainability. I am happy that it has been organized in collaboration with ICSSR New Delhi. Very well said, with little bit of assertiveness. The funds were realized from the particular funding agency. And as I can see, lots of businesses meant for 2 days, and very important ones. Some of them are so important, I think we should further work on them and try to see if we can take some of the takeaways from them. Very much impressed that we are going to talk on heritage tourism in Kashmir, issues, challenges and opportunities. This is the need of the hour, and I would definitely like that we work more on it, so that definitely some of the recommendations are moved forward. Then exploring mystical poetry in Kashmir across religious boundaries should be a very interesting one. Traditional medicinal practices of Chaupan community in Kashmir, a cultural heritage perspective, means something we are talking about traditional medicinal practices. So why I have taken up these means you are touching each and every topic, whether it's from the field of medicine, whether it's from the field of culture, whether it's identity, whether it's music, whether it's folk songs, whether it's craftsmanship. I think everything is included over here, and I must congratulate all the paper presenters who will present their papers. A proper booklet will come out of this, and definitely I think we can take it more forward. So about this seminar, I am sure that We all know that Kashmir has had a very rich and glorious past. The contribution of our Sufis and saints has been immense, as very well pointed out by Professor Rajneesh, and see how the contribution of our literature by our saints and by our Sufis is being researched in other universities. I was so happy to know it, how Shaivism is being studied in other parts of our country. In fact, everything which I would have liked to touch, that's about the literary contribution of our past, pertaining to crafts, pertaining to culture, pertaining to the mindset of our people, which hold so many religions together. I must say that it was the mindset and it was the simplicity of a people, that all the religions were living together, whether it's Sikhs, whether it's Hindus, whether it's Christians, whether it's Muslims, everyone had a common goal, and that's to educate their children, to have the development of their place, to participate in everything, whether it's culture, whether it's pertaining to literary activities, pertaining to writings. We'll see that Kashmir, there has been a very good piece of publications that have come out, or the writings that have come out from the Kashmiris in the past. Even in the present we are writing, although the technology has taken its course, whether in a good way or a bad way. Of course we have to move with technology, but I am very happy that some of the topics of introspect in this particular seminar, which we should definitely try to look back and see why this erosion of different things has been in our place, that's of whether it's literature, crafts, culture, religion, language, heritage, and how we can restore it for the benefit of our youth, for the benefit of our country, for the benefit of our place. As per new education policy, you will see that the doors are open for any candidate to take course on anything. We should try to see if some of the courses can be devised on the topics that are going to be deliberated in this particular seminar, and how we can take our students back to our glorious past, but again at the same time those courses should be helpful for them. They should be job oriented, they should be skilled oriented, they should be entrepreneur oriented, so that it's helpful for them. We'll definitely try to look into it. We are already doing lots of exercises on it, and for the information of our learned professors who are sitting here from JNU, University of Kashmir was one of the first universities in the country to implement new education policy at UG level. All our affiliated colleges have curriculum on new education policy, and due course is given to all the courses, whatever is the main objective of new education policy. And languages is one of the subjects which our students are taking, and I must tell you that language basket has been very well taken by our UG students. Once again, congratulations to the director and his team for organizing this very important 2 days seminar. I will definitely look for the recommendations which will come, and the recommendations which we have to implement at the institutional level, at the UT level, and at the national level. Thank you very much.
Talk about contribution of this sacred land is difficult in the sense that this period involves around 5,000 years of this excellence. Kalidas, in his Kumar Sambhavam, he gives a beautiful description of this area, and he says that Asti Uttarsyam Dishi Devatma Himalayo Nam Nagadhiraja Purvaparo Toy Nidhi Vagahyam Isthita Prithibhyar Ivaman Danda. This is in Kumar Sambhavam. And he says that in the north part of the country, there is great mountain, greatest mountain in fact, that is Himalaya. And it is Devatatma, it is the soul of the Devatas, not ordinary beings. It's the soul of Devatas, the inner self of the Devatas. And it touches from east to west, it touches the seas, oceans, as if it is lying like a scale to map the whole earth. Kalidas is known for his simile, as you know. So, and then in one of his verses says that Trayambakasya Attahasha. This is when you see the snow-clad mountains, in poetic tradition, laughter has a color also. It is white, Shweta. And that's why Kalidas says Trayambakasya Attahasha, as if these snow-clad mountains are in fact embodiment or the crystallization of the great laughter of Shiva, Lord Shiva himself. Like this. This is the land which has its own Puran. This is called, a special category of Puran is called Sthal Puran, describing a particular geographical area. And this is Neelamat Puran, as you know, by Neel Rishi. This whole land is known as Satisar. We feel, this goes with the legend of Shiva and Parvati, and that's why Sati is the name of Parvati, as you know. Sati Sar, lake of Sati, as it is known. So it is surrounded by mountains. It was filled up with water, and gradually the name of Kashyap Rishi is associated with that. The water was drained and this land emerged. That's why this Sati Sar, it is said in Neelamat Puran, the goddess Parvati transformed herself in this land, Sati Sar, or what we know as Kashmir. And the name associated of a great sage is Kashyap. And Kashyap, this land is also known, since Kashyap was instrumental in bringing out this land. That's why this land is also called Kashyapi, daughter of Kashyap, or Kashyapuri, and subsequently Kashmir. There is a description in this text of Nag dynasty. This again relates to Kashyap. He has two wives. The name of one wife was Kadru, and she has 8 sons. These sons are called Nag. One of them, I just read out a few names you can easily identify. Ananta Nag, we are here. Vasuki Nag, Takshak Nag, Karkot Nag. Emperor Lalitaditya belongs to this dynasty, Karkot. Padmanag, Mahapadmanag, Shankhanag, and Kuliknag. These were the 8 sons. And this is how it goes on. In Sanskrit, mountain is also known as Nag. Na gacchati iti nagar. That which doesn't move, doesn't go anywhere. And Nag in Kashmiri has meaning that is a spring, spring. So Kausar Nag, Anantanag, like that. This means this is the land where water emerges from the earth. This in Sanskrit it is called Udak, spring coming out of earth. This also relates to this Naga and etymologically also. Vitasta, the very, very important river, Rigvedic river, it is mentioned in Rigved also. As you know, Rigved mentions 21 rivers, Vitasta is one of them. And it emerges out of the triad of Shiva, Bhagavan Shiva. So it's a very ancient place. This area is also known as Sharda Desh. You have Sharda script here, Sharda Desh. And the goddess Sharda, her temple, very, very lustrous, very big temple, was located on the bank of river Krishna Ganga, that is now occupied area. So this Sharda Devi Mandir, and then you have the whole land is also known as Sharda Desh. This is the only place in whole India which has the Sarvagya Peeth, a center known for scholarship, known for the excellence. Sarvagya Peeth is the only peeth throughout India that is located in Kashmir in the Sharda temple campus. Whosoever wants to claim as a great scholar, he has to undergo examination there, and scholars were there to examine. And that's why in deep south area of like Tamil Nadu, Karnataka area, there is still a ritual. We call it Yagyopavit, that is the beginning of education, traditional education. In that there is a ritual that the small kids, when they start learning, they move 3 steps towards north and they say Kashmirana Gachami, I am going to Kashmir to learn, to earn knowledge. And that is why this Sharda Desh is so important, so revered in our culture. Here you have Mahadevgiri, where all these great agamas, great sacred texts were enunciated by Shiva himself. You have Hari Parvat, and you see there is a Shankarpal. Shankarpal might be familiar, I need not say here. On the other side of this great rock, the whole Shiva Sutra, the great philosophical text, was inscribed, and it was discovered by Vasugupta in 8th century. So the text is fortunately with us. It's a wonderful text. So on Mahadevgiri, Shiva preached this great agamas, great text to Rishi Durvasa, and Durvasa to his 3 disciples, Amardaknath, Srinath and Triambaknath. And since then this great lineage comes down to us with Abhinavagupta in 10th, 11th century, and in the 20th century Swami Lakshmanju of Srinagar. So this continued till then. Then you have Kashmir has been, you know, Sharda Lipi, Sharda script, which inspired greatly in the Gurumukhi script. Gurumukhi is deeply associated with this, and all our gurus, you know, they composed the text in this script. 4th Buddhist Council took place here during Kanishka period, and the place is Harvan. It is Shad Rishi Vana, forest of 6 sages. This is how it is known. And another name is Kundalvan. So this is very, very important, and very important is that it was presided by a great Buddhist scholar, Nagarjuna. So Nagarjuna came all the way from Sri Shaila mountain in Andhra to this place. He stayed here, and 4th Buddhist Council was conducted. Sri Nagarjuna, great contribution is his Shunyavada, a philosophy of, not void exactly, philosophy of Shunya. Let us call it Shunya, it cannot be translated. So why to indulge into that? So philosophy of Shunya. It's a land which has a confluence of Shaiva, Shakta, Vaishnav, Buddhism and Sufism. Great Sufis were also here. It's an illustrious lineage of great Shaivacharyas, starting from Trayambaknath to Arunaditya, Varshaditya, and coming to the 18th generation, that is Somananda, in 8th century. And since then, you have the continued tradition till Swami Lakshmanji Maharaj. Abhinav Gupta is, of course, one of the greatest Shaivacharyas in this land. It is the source of Nath Sampradaya as well as the Siddha Sampradaya, because all these names which I am enumerating, they were also known as Siddha and Nath, like Siddha Vasugupta Nath, Siddha Abhinav Gupta Nath, like this. We have their designation. We have great saints like Lalleshwari, Lalded, Mata Rup Bhavani, Arnimal, and Lalded need to be mentioned especially because with Lalleshwari, Kashmiri language and literature begins, and it gets prestige. As Javed ji also mentioned, Kashmir has been the foundation of Indian poetics and aesthetics.
Today, privileged to be part of this very important deliberation that is going to happen on a very important and a very critical aspect of that is our heritage and culture. The heritage and culture is the real treasure of any community, any nation. And it is the responsibility and the duty of every nation, every community to see that their heritage and culture is preserved. Ladies and gentlemen, we all know Kashmir world over is renowned as one of the most breathtaking places on earth, often called as paradise on earth. The cultural history and heritage of Kashmir has been equally very rich. The region of Kashmir has been a melting pot of various influences and civilizations, contributing to its unique cultural identity. It has a rich history dating back 5,500 years, with 4,000 years Hindu rituals and customs. Buddhist period, this was followed by 1,200 years of Buddhist period. Buddhism emerged and gained prominence in Kashmir. This marked a significant shift in the cultural landscape of the region. Buddhist monasteries, stupas, art flourished in the region, leaving a lasting impact on the cultural heritage of Kashmir. Ladies and gentlemen, we all know that the strategic location of the Kashmir region on the historic Silk Route. Because of this strategic location of Kashmir, the traders from Central Asia, Persia and other regions often visited the region, bringing with them their traditions, languages and customs, which mingled with the local culture, further enriched Kashmiri's heritage. Kashmir today is also known for the world famous handicrafts. And these handicrafts have been the major source of livelihood to a large number of people here in the Kashmir. And we all know that these handicrafts have been brought by the travelers, the artisans from the Central Asia. And the Kashmir have been cherishing that kind of a relationship with the Central Asia. Islam came to the region around the 14th century through Sufi saints. With the adoption of Islam, Kashmir's cuisine and culture had also evolved. Kashmir has a very rich past. Its heritage is very rich. Its culture is very rich. And the most important part of our culture was the composite culture. You see, the world's largest religions have evolved in this land of peace. But the sad part of our history has been that a rich tapestry of cultural history, including unique clothing, cuisine, music, language, etc., is gradually disappearing in Kashmir. Kashmir's attire has represented the region's identity and heritage for centuries together. But unfortunately, Kashmir attire is disappearing. The younger generations in particular prefer Western style of clothing. Similarly, Kashmiri language, our mother tongue, is losing its pride and a place of pride. Unfortunately, younger generations are feeling embarrassed to speak Kashmiri and prefer to speak either Urdu or English. And it is the fault doesn't lie only with the younger generation. Being a part of this society, I know the fault for all this lies with their parents, who are forcing their children to speak either in Urdu or English. And that is really very unfortunate for our culture and for our heritage. It is also a fact that our age-old utensils are disappearing from our kitchens. I will give one very important example. Samovar, which was an integral part of our kitchens and our living rooms, has totally disappeared from our kitchens, from our living rooms, and it has been replaced by the modern electric kettles. And at times because the samovar has come from the Central Asia, at times I am watching on YouTube the Central Asia, and the samovar is still, an integral part of their culture and their kitchen. Similarly, if you will see, in the clothings, Kashmiris had traditional two caps. One is that traditional cloth cap, and the other is that, that fur cap. And fur cap was symbolized with the status, but that white cloth cap was the common attire. And now hardly we see anybody using those caps. But we should also feel proud that we have been able to preserve our cuisine, the most important cuisine, that is our Vazwan. Why perhaps we have been able to preserve our Vazwan, and in fact we have been making in more addition to our Vazwan. And perhaps because it is very delicious, it does feed our, bellies. But there is a lot of opposition about this Vazwan also, because we have made this Vazwan, a kind of a status symbol. and it has become a kind of a social issue and a social problem. Because now in marriages, people have to spend a lot of money which everybody cannot afford. But at least we should feel proud that our Vazwan is still with us. Our folklore, particularly our Vanun in the marriages and that roof, is still that we have been able to preserve. Now, we all know that with each passing day, Kashmir witnesses the slow erosion of its cherished culture, heritage, language, and culinary treasures. Centuries-old customs that once, bound communities together are now slipping away into the sands of time. The vibrant threads of Kashmiri identity, woven delicately through generations, are now at a risk of fraying. And this is really a very serious challenge for all of us, particularly for the educational institutions, and that too for the higher educational institutions. And the role of the higher educational institutions is not only to create the human resource that will contribute to the economic growth and development, or to our scientific progress. And equally, our important role is to take all steps to ensure that there is a restoration of our past glorious culture and history, and at the same time preserve that culture and history. And I personally feel that today's seminar is a right step towards that kind of a direction. I am quite confident that the paper presenters will deliberate on the various issues of our culture, our heritage, and they are privy to that what are the dangers and what we have lost. And I am quite hopeful that at the conclusion of their deliberations, that this seminar will come up with a roadmap, and then they will share that roadmap with all the concerned stakeholders, so that our glorious past, our heritage and culture is preserved. With these words, I, congratulate the organizers, particularly our Honorable Vice Chancellor, and I know during the last 2 years, lot of academic activities and lot of conferences and seminars have been organized. And seminars and conferences are the most important part of the higher educational institutions, because these provide a platform to everybody and every stakeholder to come together and to debate and to come to to conclusions about our social, economic, or scientific issues and problems, and then help the society to overcome those issues.
Kashmiri heritage is a multi-helical structure. We have the classical Sanskrit poeticians, we have the Buddhist heritage, we have the Islamic tapestry, we also have Sikh heritage of Kashmir. We have, so it is truly, as one of our guests before me said, a melting pot of different cultures. So what we have right now in Kashmir is this intermixture of different cultures. If you look at the linguistic structure of Kashmiri language, every third word is either Sanskrit or it is Persian. We have words from Turkish. So that itself represents that what we are witness to now in Kashmir is perhaps the apogee of that cultural production process. To celebrate that, we thought it is very important that South Campus especially, because South Kashmir has a very rich heritage dating back to the very ancient times until the present. So this would be the right location to have a conference of such nature and character. And when we sent out the proposal inviting papers from different institutions, I could not believe my eyes that we had so much of response. We had to remove many of the people. We had to go through a proper sifting process. not only from within Kashmir but across the globe. We have paper presenters from University of Oregon, USA. We have paper presenters from China. We have papers from Bangladesh, Nepal, and of course from different parts of India. So that is kind of background to what we are going to do here. It is to provide platform to people and let them express their thoughts about the rich cultural heritage. It is not just a flattering word to say the rich cultural heritage. If you look at the top classical Sanskrit poeticians of Kashmir, of India, most of them are from Kashmir. Maybe Abhinav Gupta. We have also Professor Ajnish Kumar Mishra, an expert on Kashmiri Shaivism. He will talk about that in his own plenary address. So it is not only it is not just an exaggeration to fill words, but there is truly something in the atmosphere, in the space, perhaps in the air of Kashmir, which allows such fertile germination, fertility. Then you come to the Islamic period. We have famous people who have spread their light and their knowledge to Central Asian areas, Ghani Kashmiri being a very prominent example. Then in the current, if you look at the subcontinental history of 20th century, if you look at some top people who influenced political and cultural atmosphere of subcontinent, you will definitely find some connection to this place. You just need to identify, I don't need to name people who have played a role, who actually bent the levers of power and politics. They have their ancestry tracing back to this place. So we have perhaps something really to offer to India at large, to subcontinent at large, to the world at large. Because perhaps that is the principal function of a university, to create ideas beyond the optics of conferences, beyond the optics of the university system. The content is very important. What are we offering to society? What are we offering to the system at large? How are we shaping political structure, cultural structure?